So we're finally back to our regular cruising videos in our narrowboat home, catching up on all of our travels that were filmed before the low water closures. We took a short break from those videos to bring you an update of how the drought had affected us and our travel plans, and then showed you opening day when we were back on the move again, after weeks and weeks of being stuck due to the closures, and what that day looked like on the South Oxford Canal. And then we had to bring you the sad news, saying goodbye to our old boy Hamish. And we just want to say a huge thank you to all of our viewers that took the time to leave such lovely messages for us. You'll still be seeing quite a bit of Hamish in these next few videos, enjoying his last few months of boat dog life. Taking yourself back to sleep, boy, haven't you? Bit of an early start, wasn't it? And for all of you that have asked about Poppy, she's doing okay, with the help of her Westie besties, Angus and Isla, on the boat right next door to us. And she's been chasing her ball to her heart's content at the dog field at the marina. And of course she's still watching her narrowboat vlogs. But it was so sad to hear her howl as soon as she heard Hamish's bark when I was editing this video. And I brought her up next to me so she could see him too. I think she misses him as much as we do. But I cheered her up, showing her the squirrel footage that I filmed especially for her, that you'll see in this video too, running around near Coventry Cathedral. So we're picking back up where we left off, heading down the Coventry arm of the Coventry Canal to the historic Coventry Basin, in the very heart of the city. We're in book 3 of the Nicholson's guides. These are the map books we use to navigate while we're cruising. We travelled from Hawkesbury Junction down the Coventry Arm to the terminus of the Coventry Canal at the Coventry Basin. A journey of about 5 miles. You can see the first half of this journey in our video Water Angels. There's a lot of blind corners, aren't there?
Oh yeah. In fact, we're doubling back on ourselves. The basin's probably just over there a little bit, but we've got to go up and around and back down in a U shape.
You can see the winding route that the canal takes into the city. And the sad sight of graffiti, which is all too familiar with city cruising. But it's still a lovely green corridor that you totally miss when you're travelling by car. Warm enough for you, Pop? Quite hot, isn't it? There's a flotilla of kayaks ahead. Just seen their instructor waving them over to him, so that's good. And Peach just blasted the horn again just to make them aware of it. irises just there. As you come down the final stretch into Coventry, the canal runs right behind rows of old Victorian houses, and you really get a sense of the city's industrial past here. These were the homes built for factory workers, packed in tightly with narrow yards and tiny brick outhouses. You can see the long rows of chimney pots and old brickwork. There's some people in an inflatable dinghy, we think, just the other side of this bridge. He's just giving them a blast on the horn so they know we're here. They've pulled over, so that's good. Thank you.
Right, mate. There's another one just coming behind us.
Busy on the canal this afternoon, isn't it? I think all the good weather has brought everybody out. Fishermen, kayakers, canoeists, inflatable dinghies, a bit of everybody, isn't there? Coventry has a really strong weaving history, and as you cruise in along the canal, you're actually passing through areas that were once the heart of the city's textile industry. For centuries, Coventry was known for its silk ribbon weaving. By the 1700s and early 1800s, ribbons were the big thing here. Fine silk ribbons and decorative narrow bands, and all sorts of intricate patterns that were exported all across Europe. Coventry weavers. That was good communication. He asked us if it was okay to pass on our right. So then we just know to keep over, we know what he's doing.
Oh, he's got something, look. He's got something.
There's the Canal and River Trust just helping that little boy fish, and he just caught a little perch.
Perch, yeah, not very big, only 6 inches maybe.
But he was excited, wasn't he?
Yeah. Couple of turns on the basin. Bridge one on the basin.
In the 1860s, cheap imported ribbons, mainly from France, hit the market, and it devastated Coventry's weavers. This crash is actually one of the reasons Coventry later reinvented itself as a centre for watchmaking and eventually bicycles and cars, kicking off the engineering industries the city became known for in the 20th century. By the early 1900s, Coventry had become the beating heart of the UK's motor industry. Daimler opened in 1896 and became Britain's first volume car manufacturer. Of course, like many industrial cities, Coventry saw a big decline in the 1970s and 80s as factories closed and production moved elsewhere. Entire sites that once produced thousands of cars a week were flattened or turned into housing or retail parks.
Cheers, guys.
We just got complimented on our boat colour, didn't we?
Yes.
Sky blue,
Sky
like
blue.
Coventry City Football
Yes.
Club. See a lot of sky blue shirts here last night, didn't we?
Last night they had a big game, didn't
They were playing Sunderland in the semi-final of the Championship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost 2-1.
Yeah, yeah.
Jill's been tailed by canoeists. There's water points just here, but obviously we're not stopping because we only filled up a couple of hours ago, but that's good to know on our return journey. Just going into the basin now. You can have 7 days mooring in the basin. We messaged our friends Julia Martin on Rhapsody in Blue. We knew they'd just been in here a week or so ago, and they said moor on the left as you come in. Don't moor by Brinley over there, as people bang into your boat apparently. This is Playwrights Cafe that we've been told about by everybody. They do a really good breakfast apparently. We had thought that we'd stay here a few days, but as you'll see, things didn't work out exactly as we'd planned. Some of the moorings are taped off there, and that's where Julie said don't moor. I've just paced this space out for Jill, and it's 30 of my paces, and I know that our 60-foot boat fits in 26 of my paces, and she's just a little bit shorter than us. And we've got that space over there opposite. So we've just been told that this corner here is a bit of a gathering place at night for all sorts of characters. So we were advised to move out of this little section just here and move back over there towards the cafe. So that's what we're doing. Hang on a minute, boy. Hang on a minute. We've also been told that this warning tape is only for weekdays, as they're painting over there, the warehouse, and they're using a cherry picker to do the painting. Hamish is very impatient. Coventry Basin dates back to 1769, when it was the terminus for the Coventry Canal and a major hub for coal and goods coming into the city. Most of the original red brick warehouses are still there, wrapped around the edge of the basin, and most of them converted into small businesses. The statue here in the basin is a bronze sculpture by James Butler, showing James Brindley poring over his plans. Brindley was commissioned to survey and help build the Coventry Canal. He was one of the pioneering engineers of the British canal system during the Industrial Revolution. He's often called the father of English canals because he helped design and build many of the earliest major waterways. Mooring in the basin in the heart of Coventry is the perfect location to get out and enjoy exploring the city. Just a short walk across the bridge. But the hunt for sweet treats took priority right now. We've only been here half an hour and we are already heading to the Portuguese cafe just over there that we've been told all about by everybody that's been to Coventry. Yes, please. Yeah.
And the tea in a pot or just a little straight away? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Guys. Cheers so much.
Acting like a personal doctor and managers will help 24/7. Even doctors frequently wear this latest kind of smart health watch. Experts recommend.
Oh, that was the two nice boats over there, aren't they?
There's two lovely boats over
Who
there.
lives on those boats?
And after enjoying our Portuguese treats, we headed into the city. It's only about a 10-minute walk, if that. One of the things you really notice in Coventry is the contrast between old and new. The city doesn't hide its history, it puts it right beside the modern stuff, and it works. It shows its past and its rebuilding, side by side. Lichgate cottages on Priory Row, right by Holy Trinity Church, are some of the oldest surviving structures in the city and give you a real sense of Coventry's long history. The cottages are timber framed with that classic black and white Tudor look, and they date back to around 1415. It's amazing that they survived in a city that was so heavily damaged during World War II. And in the grounds of Holy Trinity Church, we met this squirrel, and of course we had to film him for Poppy. Coventry is famous for having not one but two cathedrals, sitting literally side by side, the old and the new. The old one, bombed in the Blitz and left in ruins as a memorial, and the new one, built in the 1960s. Both were just so fascinating to explore. The old cathedral, St Michael's, was a medieval church that grew over centuries into one of the largest parish churches in England. It became a cathedral in 1918, but it didn't stay standing for long. On the night of the 14th of November 1940, during the Blitz, Coventry was heavily bombed. The cathedral was hit directly and burned out. By morning, only the outer walls and the tower and spire were left standing. Instead of clearing the site or trying to rebuild it exactly as it was, the decision was made to leave the ruins as a memorial. The open to the sky walls, the empty window frames, and the charred stonework became a symbol of the bombing, but also of forgiveness and reconciliation. The sculpture of the embracing couple is a symbol of Coventry's commitment to peace, standing right where the city once suffered its darkest night. This bronze sculpture is one of the few surviving artefacts after the bombing of the cathedral in 1940. The buildings that survived the bombing in the area beside the old cathedral are equally as beautiful. Right beside St Michael's is the new cathedral, opened in 1962. It's modern and bright and completely different in style. The two buildings couldn't look more different, and that contrast is the point. Quite unbelievably, it's free to visit both of the cathedrals, relying on donations to stay open. But there's quite a few donation points dotted around. On the 23rd of March 1956, Queen Elizabeth II laid the foundation stone for the new cathedral. One of the first things you see is the dramatic bronze sculpture, St. Michael's Victory over the Devil, by Sir Jacob Epstein. It shows the Archangel Michael standing over the bound devil, symbolising the victory of good over evil. This bold artwork is part of the architect Basil Spencer's vision to fill the building with powerful modern art. The Christ in Glory tapestry, designed by artist Graham Sutherland, measures 23 metres tall by 12 metres wide and weighs about a tonne. Amazingly, it was woven in one continuous piece by hand on a 500-year-old loom made from 2 tree trunks. There are over 900 colours in the design. When the cathedral was destroyed, 2 of the wooden roof beams had fallen in the shape of a cross. The cathedral's stonemason found them still smouldering the next morning and tied them together with wire. And that simple cross made from the burnt timbers of the bombed cathedral became a powerful symbol of both loss and hope. The cathedral also hosts lots of temporary exhibitions, and we were lucky enough to be there for one of those. and after a wonderful time exploring, we headed back to the boats. And the basin was the perfect place to sit out and enjoy a few drinks in the evening. Unfortunately, the warning we'd been given about people gathering on the steps at the corner of the basin turned out to be true. Around 3 a.m. we were woken up by shouting and arguing. It was loud and pretty unsettling, really. But by the next morning, all was quiet again, or so we thought. We headed over to Playwright's Cafe that we'd seen on our way into the basin, and can agree with all the recommendations that it really is a very good breakfast. But a group had started gathering on the benches next to our boats, clearly drunk and probably high on something too, and it just gave us a really uncomfortable feeling. And one of the good things about boat life is when things don't feel quite right, you can just untie and move on. And that's what we decided to do. It didn't ruin our trip, it just cut it a little shorter than we'd planned. And we don't want you to be put off at all by our experience. We hope we've shown you that Coventry really is worth the trip down the Arm. And we were just a little unlucky, perhaps it was because it was a Saturday night. We've had friends stay there with no problems at all, but we always tell things like they are. Join us in our next few videos as we head down to Oxford and then on to the River Thames for a summer of amazing cruising.
Yes, baggy, look at it. Way baggy.
Have you lost weight since last time you had it on?
Yeah.
If you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up and give us a like. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's totally free and helps our channel grow. And YouTube has a new feature where you can hype a video. So if you hit hype, there's more chance that YouTube will recommend it to more viewers to enjoy. Thank you so much to all of our channel members for joining the One Day More crew. Click the button below or the link in the description to find out more. And thank you to everybody that supports our channel through YouTube Super Thanks, Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. And as always, thank you to all of our viewers. Leave us a comment, we love to hear from you and we promise to respond to everyone.
When I stayed home, I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile.